Hello and welcome back to Marvel Puzzle Quest with me, PiMacleod. We're here at day 4192. Couple blink days in a row. Lame. But you know, a couple things on the horizon, whatever. We're here for a Crash of the Titans. Not just one, but two. There's two of them. Because, well, he hasn't had two before. Who's he? Oh, scroll over here. Click. So, these two down here, if you recognize the icons, that's Black Panther on the bottom middle. We'll call it that. And the bottom right has Thanos. That's obviously him with the Infinity Gauntlet, right? Let's see. Let's go into it, and we'll go one at a time. The one on the right is the new one, but we'll go through it again. It's been a couple of years since he's had a crash. First off, we're going against Black Panther. We'll start right here with our first enemy lineup. Black Panther came into, well, at least 4-star Black Panther came into Marvel Puzzle Quest a long time ago. Back when fortified tiles were newer, when the idea of fortifying things was a newer concept, and it was a decent deal to protect your your stuff, your special tiles, things you wanted to deal with. And he gave us a new way to play with those fortifications, to protect tiles, which is kind of funny to say, and also to utilize them twice. I'll get into that. Hey, how's it going, Matt? Thanks for joining. So let's start off with the beginning here. His top ability, his yellow one, is an ability that basically puts out a repeater. The lower level it is, obviously the less it does, but personally I put it up to 5. I know I might be weird for this. Put it up to, I crank it up to 5 myself, but really what it does is every time it counts down to 0, it creates a smattering of strike, attack, projectile, stuff like that. And if you have 2 allies alive, well, like himself and one other, it does an extra bit, like maybe the tiles are stronger. But if you have the whole team still alive, then they get fortified as well. So I like stronger tiles. I like them when they're fortified, and you'll see more why when I get to the next point. By the way, it costs only like 8 yellow, so it's not horrible. A little high by today's standards for special tile creation, but I digress. His blue is kind of the thing he's known for. His blue is a protect tile maker. It costs, I want to say 8 again, and it makes, what, 4 decently strong protect tiles? It's not a good return on investment, really, when you think about it. You're just creating protect tiles for a little more than half the cost than it should be, honestly. It's not that big of a deal. However, there's an ability, a passive tied to it that says whenever you match a friendly projectile, you do a bunch of passive damage to the enemy. It just power damage just happens. In other words, it's encouraging you to make a bunch of projectiles, make as many as you can, and match them yourself. Kind of like playing a Beta Ray Bill Polaris combo. We like matching our own projectiles in that case, right? In this case, he gives you an extra damage output with it. Yes, that's all that does. You could say to yourself, hey, 5-star Kamala Khan does stuff like this, and she does it for more things. Yeah, but she's 5-star. This is 4-star, and this came a long time ago, so at the time it was novel, interesting, and to be fair, he can put out more special tiles between his yellow and blue than she can. Her yellow is the only thing that works to put out specials. It is a lot, but still. Anyways, finally, his red. His red is his nuke. And it does damage based on some things you have out on the board. I digress. We'll get into what that red nuke is really about. Personally, that's the one I put down to 3. If I'm using Black Panther, I'm using him for projectiles and fortifications. I'm not thinking about it for his nuke, but maybe that's just me. Anyways, who do we get to go against Black Panther with? Kraven. Heavy sigh. Kraven is not the coolest character in the block, and I'm not saying it because of his movie. I haven't even seen it yet. Heard bad things, obviously. I think we all have. But I'm an optimist. Maybe I'd like it, and maybe I'd like Kraven once upon a time here in MPQ. First, let's take off these boosts before I dive on into them here. Once upon a time, Kraven was pretty cool. When he came out in MPQ way back when, it was when Rocket was a fierce foe to be reckoned with. Rocket creates his 7 strikes in the beginning, and then you know, you add in Kitty Pryde or someone else who likes to play with strikes, and it's a problem. Well, Kraven sat here with his purple, and that's his main reason for existing. That says, hey, at the beginning of the turn, if there are at least 4 enemy strike, attack, or projectiles on the board, Kraven reduces their strength by a decent amount for being a 4-star character, and then deals a nice chunk of power damage back to the enemy as well. That all happens right in the beginning of the turn. This is the main reason Kraven was cool at one point in time. Of course, as time went on, Polaris came out, and then her damage output made him look funny. Just, it is what it is, right? But that's an overpowered Polaris versus Kraven, who really just was a one-trick pony. Well, what is his other abilities? He's got to have something else up his sleeve, right? I wish. Wounded Pride is easily his second best ability, and that's not saying much. For 10 black, that's a heavy cost nowadays, Kraven creates a 1-turn black countdown tile that destroys 3 AP in the enemy and allies team's strongest colors, dealing a hefty amount of damage, I'll gotta admit, for each point of AP destroyed. So, you know, 3 from the ally team, 3 from the enemy team. That's 6 AP. That number times 6 is what you could get for this hefty cost of 10 black. Here's the reason why it's not that great. A, you heard the beginning part? A 1-turn countdown tile. In other words, it's not fortified. It's just a countdown. If the enemy matches it, or if you destroy it on accident, if anything happens to that countdown that makes it go away, well, you just wasted 10 black on nothing. Not cool. Of course, the damage is nice, but then think about the fact that you just spent 3 more AP on top of the 10 black. So really, this costs you up to 13 AP. I mean, 10 at least, right? The lowest amount, or, you know, of course, other things could get in the way, but plus 3 more on top of it, just to get this damage out and to hopefully get it out because the countdown needs to survive. You might think, how could it get worse? Let me show you. I'm sorry, slide whistle sound effect and the other powers. This is 100% true. You're right. If I had a sound effect board here. Okay, finally, the one I put at 3, and this tells you how bad it is. The most dangerous game. The most dangerous game is playing Kraven. Anyways, 10 blue. Kraven places 1 blue trap tile. I'll put up to 5 so you can see if, like, oh, maybe he didn't put it up high enough. Nope, still 1 blue trap tile on the board. When any of these trap tiles, I don't know why I put it plural, but okay. When any of these trap tiles are present, Kraven steals 1 AP in a random color each turn. Just 1. When this trap tile is matched, converts 4 basic tiles to his team's strongest color and deals some damage. That damage is about what his purple passive does, but this is just upon that trap tile being matched. Now, it can be matched by you or the enemy. That's nice. It doesn't say destroyed, so you can't destroy it. Can't overwrite it. None of that thing will help you. None of those options. It has to be matched to get that effect out of it. And if you cast this again, let's say you get 20 blue, and you're like, oh, I'm going to do it again. Let's get 2 of those out there. Nope, does nothing. It's really just, as long as 1 trap exists, these effects happen. And if you happen to destroy 1 of those 2 traps, the effect will keep going because you have a second trap in place. Stealing 1 AP a turn for a trap that can be overwritten, destroyed, whatever, so easily is laughable. It really is a horrible ability, especially thinking when you have other characters that steal a lot more just by existing. Like, I don't know, the old character, the Hood in 3-star land, he just exists and he's stealing AP. Of course, the board has to be colored a certain way, but still, you're getting more than just 1 color, 1 AP. You can get multiple, like, you know, multiple ones, but you get the point. I digress. Horrible ability, even at 5. It just does more damage and gets some more tiles converted to your team's strongest color. No, don't do it. Not worth it no matter what. Really, you're just hoping to bank on this purple. That purple is really the best thing about him. Now, unfortunately, this requires the enemy to have special tiles. This is a one-on-one fight. Black Panther doesn't come to the fight with specials ready. He has to get yellow or blue or both and create those special tiles. So you're banking on the enemy creating those tiles in order to get Kraven rolling correctly. In other words, if you don't have a high-leveled Kraven, you just have a couple of levels in them, maybe a couple of covers here or there, you still want to let Black Panther get his yellow or his blue on up there a little bit so he can cast his ability, and then you, Kraven, can passively lower his projectiles down and deal that damage over and over again. Of course, don't leave projectiles for Black Panther to match, because then he'll passively do damage to you. So like if you see some projectiles lined up, like in a match 4 or something, you know the computer's going to take it yourself. Don't let Black Panther, hurt you like that. Okay? Anyways. Not a fun fight because Kraven's just not that good anymore. If he was that good to begin with. Let's go and turn on the animations because, it wouldn't be me if I didn't do this ahead of time, right? Character effects. Doop. And story. Deadpool Daily. Crash with Black Panther. We have Kraven's information. Let's go. This is the fight he always had before, by the way. So the next one will be the new one. Click. Okay, so we obviously want black and we want blue because those are the two active abilities we have. We want to let Black Panther get some yellow and blue as well, though. So, for what it's worth. Oh, yellow was only 7. I'm sorry. I said 8. I overshot it. It's even better. But that blue is 8. And the red is 10. That's another reason I don't put it up to 5. But yeah, deals damage and increases the strength of some fortified friendly attack strength of projectiles by some amount. Or standard ones by a lesser amount. Anyways. Okay, let's let him have his blue. I don't think I want him to have his red, though, We don't want him to nuke us. So we gotta let him get it a different way. Let's take that red. And that red as well. Let's get all these reds away from him. And if I see any... I could steal the blue, but it's just not a good ability. I want him to get his tiles out there so Kraven can work. I don't see any black. I would like that to... Because his black is actually decent if you have to use it. You have to use it, but... I don't see anything else. I guess I will take the red. I don't want to give him that. It's a pretty dull board. We'll get those. I guess I'll take the black. We finally got something worthwhile there. No, you're not allowed to have the red. No. Take that blue. Hey, Hugo. Good evening to you. Good to see you here. Go on. Don't take the red. Take the blue. I'm leaving this big cat as blue, and he's just like, nah. Why take the yellow or the blue? You're obviously avoiding it. It must be bad. Thank you. Take it. Ooh, do I leave him all that yellow? I want him to have yellow. I feel like the match 5 is worth it, though, right? Right. It's gotta be worth it. It's a match 5. There you go. Throw that shield up there. Okay, so now, there we go. We can start ticking away some damage. Of course, his projectiles are mitigating some of it, but it's not mitigating that much. Look at it now. Okay, this part might be a little unfair. If your Kraven's lower level, obviously he might not lower the projectile strength that much, but mine lowered them down to being insignificant. But still, the fun thing about Kraven is he's going to keep doing this. Even though they're 0 effectively, he's going to do it over and over again, even though theoretically he shouldn't be able to because they've already lost all value. But that's math or something. I don't know. Let's get rid of that red. We don't want him taking it. Hey, took my black. I guess we'll take the blue now, because now we have projectiles to play with. So let's get that blue rolling. This poor guy, he's just going to take it on the chin over and over again. Let's go. We can cast this now. Ah. I think that's called Wounded Pride, but it's him leaping through the air with his daggers akimbo and ready. Like, he doesn't look wounded. He looks happy. He looks like he's having a good time. Doesn't matter. He's dead next turn. You know what? I'll let him take that red. Let him be happy for a minute. We'll match this. There we go. We got to see another animation. That's cool. And you're dead. Just let him cast. Let the guy go. You know, as they say, let him cook. You know, let him do his thing, and Kraven will thank him for doing it. Just match away the red. You don't need to be nuked for no reason, but let him get his blue and his yellow out there. Kraven will take care of the rest. Of course, this all depends on how much you have your Kraven leveled. Just play it appropriately. If you need more damage on your output, you could put on a support, something that boosts power damage. You know, like, let's say if I go over here and put on, like, Taskmaster Sword, right? There we go, rank 3. Supported characters' powers deal an additional X amount of damage, right? So now Kraven would do more damage per hit of that passive. See? Just something like that. Or if he's just you're having problems surviving against Black Panther, obviously you could use like Eros' arrow or something else to give your defense a boost. But anyways, the other one is the new one. Kraven hasn't had a second fight yet in Crash the Titans. Now he does. Here it is against Thanos. 4-star Thanos, who came into MPQ the last of all the Thanoses. Thanos-I? Anyways, this Thanos doesn't have Court Death, as we know 3 and 5 have. So there's none of that passive, you know, I kill you, I do a bunch of wave of damage to everybody. No. Instead, he's got his black, which is basically a nuke. I want to say it's called like Vicious Determination or something. It hits someone, what is it, like 10 or 11 black AP. So it hits someone pretty hard, and then it'll hit other allied heroes on the enemy team for additional damage. So yes, you can actually target one person, and if they actually count as a hero, they get hit again. And then of course the allied people, if they're heroes, they get hit too. It's okay. It's not what I put up to 5. I basically have mine just like this one you see here. I'm at black's at 3. The other 2 are where it's at. His blue is a passive that says, hey, if the enemy have, what is that, like 3 or more strike, attack, or projectiles out there on the board? I would think it's 3 or more. He removes one of them. Doesn't destroy it. He removes one of them. It's just nice. It avoids Beta Ray Bill and other such wordings. And he transforms 4 basic tiles into green tiles, if I remember correctly. So it doesn't do like straight up damage, but the tile transformation of color can. That can cause cascades passively at the start of your turn. And then finally, the green is notoriously known for being a good team up with Beta Ray Bill and Polaris. The point being that Beta Ray Bill and Polaris together can generate a lot of blue and green AP. This green, for 12, it's expensive, but it destroys a lot of tiles on the board. Like a lot of tiles. And of course, if you team with Polaris and you're destroying protect tiles, that means she's going to multiply those protect tiles, and then Beta Ray Bill's going to feed you more green and blue AP for all those protects destroyed. Rinse and repeat. That's a basic winfinite, as they call it. Anyways, his damage is okay on that green. It's really more about the fact that it could destroy so much of the board, like a large amount of the board, for more tiles than the amount of AP you spend. Does that make sense? It's a good bang for your buck. Anyways, here's the problem with this fight. Thanos isn't creating any tiles. So because Thanos isn't creating any tiles, Kraven's purple is worthless. That's the whole point of Kraven, really. You can ask anyone who plays the game. Kraven's there for his purple, nothing else. But since I can't use it, I'd be stupid not to pump his really, really, really bad blue up to 5. Oh, it hurts me to hit these buttons. It's like call a lawyer. I don't know, I've been in an accident. Let's upgrade that. I don't know how that's shifted, but get rid of that. That's a horrible Kraven build, but here we are in a one-on-one situation. Thanos isn't going to create any tiles. Not one bit. Might as well do this. If you need to get other things rolling, don't forget that you have supports. You could put on things to help start with more black AP. Like if you have a Tinkerer or Ebony Maw at appropriate levels, you could start with more black AP. You could do things like obviously Taskmaster Sword or other supports that could boost power damage. You could do things like, you know, Vintage Shield or other supports like Eros' Arrow to help you defend and live longer. But we're just going to go in en naturel like this and go against the Mad Titan, which doesn't seem fitting for Kraven. Is there a comic where Kraven goes after the Mad Titan? I don't know. Anyways, let's go. So to make sure you're... Oh, it's only cost 9 black. I thought it was more than that. But still, I still wouldn't put it up higher. There you go. 3 or more, strike, attack, or projectiles, remove 1, convert 3 to green. Oh, only 3. Still, I'd still take it. It's a good power. Then 12 for destroying 32 tiles. If you didn't know, there's only 64 tiles on the board. This is half the screen destroyed for only 12 green. Pretty darn good. Plus the damage per special destroyed. Anyways. I want the blue and the black because we really have nothing else to do. So let's take them. Of course, Thanos has no use for the blue because it's passive for him, but he'll take it anyways. He does have a use for green, and he just left it alone. So I'm going to take the black, though, because we can use that. These things happen. I don't really have much of a good match on here, but neither does Thanos, if we're being honest. I guess we'll take the team up just for damage output purposes. Again, I guess I'll take the purple for match damage. And of course, there you go. He is the black he wants. Sometimes I would take cascades like this yellow right here. I move that yellow up, and then the black over here would go down. But that would leave this green right here one space down, and Thanos could grab it for green AP, which he likes. So I'm not going to do that this time. I'll let him have that match 4 of red over there on the left, and you know, I'll be happy with that. Take that blue. Ugly moves. See no purples, no blacks, no blues. I guess I just get rid of the green so Thanos can't be happy either, right? Never mind. He's going to be happy. Thankfully, I don't have any special tiles on the board, so he's not going to get any extra damage out of me. And put your fist to the sky and do a little bit of tile destruction. There you go. And he gets a bunch of blue. Purple into blue combo. And a match 5 for random. Okay, I guess Karma is being nice to me there on that one. Let's put out the most dangerous game. Oh boy. The animation looks 500 times cooler than what the ability actually is. That's actually a pretty good animation for such a bad power. There we go. We stole an AP. Oh, man. Here we go. Now, this is probably game right here. As long as this countdown tile survives, it's actually pretty strong. So do I do anything to make him... I mean, I don't want to make it easy for him to match away, so let's do like this, knowing that if he takes the green, it's still safe. There you go. It's a lot of damage in that black tile. Unfortunately, you can't choose where it goes. It just goes to a random spot. It is a black tile spot, but you know, you get the point. It's just endangered. I wouldn't cast it if you see he has 12 green plus. If Thanos has 12 or more green, don't cast your black, or even your blue for that matter. Let him get his green out of his system, then cast your abilities. But you can't really do much more. There's no special tiles to play with, so if you have a support to help you out, please do use it, abuse it. You could use some boosts if it helps you, but not much going on there. It's a pretty dull fight, all things considered. But there we go. That's Kraven's Crashes, plural, of the Titans. Thank you very much for joining me, Hugo, Matt. It's a short one today. Easy crashes. Have a good one. Talk to you guys later. Bye.